My name's Aaron. Welcome back to my channel. How are you? I'm fantastic and I'm doing really well. And today, from the house of Memo, Paris, I am reviewing African leather, which has been highly requested. And I got these like little box, which I think is really lovely actually. So the spiel is, I'm trying to get into the notes, but it's kind of smashing me with this marketing. Founded in 2007 by Clara and John Malloy, Memo Paris believes that fragrance is a getaway to enchanting destinations and intense raw notes. One thing I've noticed from this, they don't have a Manchester leather or a British leather. It's every other leather. And I felt a little bit offended. African leather Eau de Parfum captures this wanderlust with an ode to warmth and wilderness of its namesake. The leather accord base acts as a foundation for the delicate dance of florals, spices and florals, invoking the continent's vivacious nature. The notes are cardamom, leather, obviously, cumin, saffron, patchouli, vetiver, geranium, aguadoud, bergamot, and musk. Do we have a lovely little box of little bottles of African leather? Are we engaged with our high self? Let's get testing. So I did try this because people were frantic about me trying stuff. So I've tried this and tried it on other people to get an opinion. It comes in this really nice little presentation. I think it's very lovely actually. We won't be able to test the atomizer because we don't have the full size bottle. Let's buy the fragrance and see. This is very nice. I'm completely gobsmacked because the previous fragrances I've tried have felt a little bit, I don't know, disappointed. You know, you can't spend that amount of money. You're expecting something beyond good blending, beyond this, that, and the other. You kind of want everything. And, you know, it's lovely. It's just voluminous. Absolutely 100% ISO super in nature. You can detect that straight off. And that's where, if you're creating a woody, spicy, leathery, and getting volume from this, which I kind of amazed. Oh, this is so safe. This is the most safe way to do a leather-based fragrance because it's dead on down the middle. And as a perfumer, I had to learn that what I think of very leather, very sweet, very this, very that, is way over there, and actually to pull myself back to being slightly this, slightly that, because most people really want that. Not many people want full on something. Some do, but most people are very sort of safe with what they want, and that's fine. And this is giving me dead on everything that you would want within a perfume. So this has been created by a person or people that really know what they're doing and know how to handle these raw materials at the concentration, because it smells finished and complete. What also I can tell you is the maths in this are really good because it smells like there's a story, there's a dry down, and it doesn't smell like there's anything particularly sticking out. And fragrances where there hasn't got that thing of something sticking out, generally the mathematics and the dilutions are spot on and perfect. So this of course is utilizing naturals combined with a base of ISO Super wood-like raw materials in the cedar family, which is given that leather feel. And I mentioned this before, that some raw materials in low concentrations do different things to when they are used in high concentrations. So this is using one of the cedarwood-like raw materials and one of the cedarwood oriental-like wood raw materials to give that wood oriental leather finish. And some of these raw materials that can be used are cedar. There's two types of cedar. You have a powdered white cedar, which is really hard to get, which I like, and then you have cedar, which is like a solid browny crystalline raw material. Then you also have Luxolone, Cephalus. All of these in higher concentrations can be used to create a leather oriental finish. Linalool raw materials to give lift and then to cut through and give you cleanness. You're using Lily of the Valley raw materials, and you're also using in this raw materials which have lots of different uses. And one of them is methyl pamplemousse, and methyl pamplemousse is on paper, on its own, grapefruit. But it can be used to do lots of other things as well. And in lower concentrations combined with the linalool compounds, it can give you cleanness and freshness and cut through vanilla. Really heavy wood raw materials that on their own can smell vinegary, and they actually smell vinegary and leathery and really, really not very pleasant as well. Also, they can also use to cut through iron-ins, which I think is horrible to smell, but in Perfumer, they're really, really magical. It's one of these things which I detest working with them, but I love the finish of them. And that's kind of this cleanness that you're getting through. You're getting the wood, the leather, then you're getting the cleanness through the core, and then combined into the naturals at the base to give this sort of finish and elevation. On to my final thoughts. I really love this. I got to say, I'm completely surprised because I haven't been particularly blown away by the other stuff, to be honest, and I've kind of bought them, and I thought for the price they were going to be really good, and I was like disappointed. Very pleased I tried it. It's very nice. Naturals in this are great. The vetiver, the citruses, slight spices are lovely, and working with the backbone to give you a finished fragrance. I think this is really beautifully created. This smells contemporary. This smells finished, complete. It's given me radiance, which is quite surprising, in volume, and then it's also giving me longevity because of the choice of raw materials and how it's built. It's been built quite heavy and then expands out. And getting about a foot of projection, and the longevity will be, I would say, for you to enjoy it, about 6 hours. I think it would then trail off to a skin scent, and if you applied it on clothes, it would obviously last longer. I would suggest that anyway, but I think about 6 hours, I think that's pretty good. I mean, I think these legendary fragrances, which last about 4 days at 30 feet of projection, I think are a bit of a myth, to be honest, but whatever. Do I like this? I really like it. I like the use of raw materials. I love, this is my most favorite sort of fraction of perfumery, when you've got about 3/4 of aroma chemicals and then you've got 1/4 of naturals just supporting sort of work through it. This is like the magic ratio for me of how to do stuff. I'm going to mark it a 9 out of 10 because it's just I'm missing something which I feel is quite important to the formula. I would think this is unisex, but more masculine leaning because it's very woody. When you add woods, vetiver, and leather, you're kind of going to go towards a more masculine leading fragrance. But that's not saying women cannot wear this because of the floral notes and the way it's constructed. But I think this is definitely unisex and masculine leading. The price, I mean, I think it's kind of out there, but I think it's a very lovely fragrance. I think this is for a fragrance connoisseur. I don't think this is a starting fragrance at all. I don't think it's that. I think it's for someone who wants to smell sort of different. I think it's very lovely, actually. I keep sort of getting little bits of movement of it. This is a fragrance where when it's colder, and I think demographic is sort of 30 up. And I think this is definitely somebody who's got a bit more sophisticated nose, who wants something a little bit different, who wants sort of a good quality fragrance. So we love that review. Thumbs up and subscribe for fascinating, interesting content. Lots of moving hands, lots of fragrance views. Hope you're staying safe and well. See you soon.